Welcome, everyone. We are here today with Antoine Hosley. He's a professional basketball player from the US. He played his last couple of seasons over here in Germany. Before that, he went to high school in Portland, Oregon. He played in the NCAA. He was a teammate of Isaiah Thomas. We actually don't know each other that well, but we played against one another, which was a special experience for me because I got to play against the best player on the opposing team. Actually, the best player in the entire league, to be fair. He's a lethal guard. He's a combo guard. He has a quick pull-up jumper. He is insanely quick. It was just great to guard him. But also, it was kind of tough because the game we played against one another is also the game where he got injured, where his season ended. So without further ado, we just like to welcome Mr. Antoine Hosley. Thank you for being here.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for having me. Glad to be here, man.
What we want to do is we want to talk about your entire basketball journey from the US to the pros in Germany, because it's very interesting for my German-speaking channel or audience, because they don't really have we don't really have a great understanding what it really takes to be a high school athlete, what it takes to be a high school star, to go to college. So maybe tackle that, and then we go over to the German or to the Germany side of it. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Let's get it.
All right. I don't know if this throws you off or not, but could you just talk about maybe a normal day or normal week in high school? Like, how many classes do you have? How many practices a day or a week do you got? Just walk me through it a little bit.
High school was pretty chill for the most part. We had about 4 to 5 classes a day. Most of the season we practicing in the afternoon after school, getting right to it right after we out of class and stuff. But during the season, sometimes before or throughout the season, we'll do early morning practices, 5:45, 6 a.m. practices, depending on the time of the year. So once we trying to, get started right before the season, we'll ramp it up. We'll go early morning. Sometimes we'll do 2 a days, go in the morning and in the afternoon. High school was pretty chill though compared to the collegiate rank. But high school was pretty solid.
I read that you actually won 2 state championships with your high school, and you was teammates with Terrence Ross and Terrence Jones, who
Yes,
both played in the NBA after that.
Yes, both of them were company on my team. Yeah.
When you say state championship, does it mean you also have to do a lot of traveling in high school, or is it only for certain tournaments?
No, it's state. So whichever state you're in. So we were in Oregon State. So we'll, play in our regular league. We played in the PIL. After that, then you go into the playoffs, but you're only playing, different teams from that state. They do different rankings like 6A, 5A, 4A, depending on the size of your school and depending on like the history of your high school and how good you guys have been in that sport, different classifications. But yeah, you're only playing teams in that state.
But if you say state, like how far do you have to travel? Is it 1 hour to a road game? Is it 2 hours to a road game?
In the league, it's pretty close. Most of them are around 20, 30 minutes, depending on which school you're going to. But then once you get into the playoffs, you'll play teams from further out. It could be an hour or 2 hours. But the state tournament was in Eugene, Oregon, so we traveled about 2 hours to play there. So
okay, then it's just a tournament. Is it just for one day, or is it for more than that?
No, it's for more than that. But once you get deep in the playoffs, if you lose, you out. So it'll depend on, how your team is doing. But it's usually like for a weekend or so, you playing games and then, all the teams are there. You playing at one facility. We played at University of Oregon, for both of our state tournaments. So
for you as a player, I mean, you come in as a freshman. I suppose you're not getting that much playing time. Is that correct? Or do you start right from the beginning and you're just a great player from the beginning?
Well, for me, it was a grind. I actually attended 2 high schools. I went to high school in Vancouver, Washington. I went to a high school called Evergreen High School there in Vancouver. So I did my freshman and my sophomore season there. So I played varsity my freshman year as well as my sophomore year. And then right after the season, during my sophomore year, I transferred then to Jefferson High School. So then I played summer league with them that summer, and then I finished my high school time there. So I played my junior and senior year at Jefferson.
So do you even have time with all these practices and with summer league and all that stuff? Do you even have time to work on your skills individually, go on the court individually, or do you always kind of have team practice, team tournaments?
Summer in high school was pretty packed because I played AAU, so that's travel ball. Here in America,
Yeah.
you travel to different states and play in different tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
Um, So, I was practicing a lot, but I had some time, some downtime to be able to work on my game, worked with, different individual trainers. It was the practice schedule wasn't too heavy, to
Mm-hmm.
where I couldn't get, some work in, on my own. But yeah, it was nice.
There's always some critique, I think, about AAU basketball. They say it's too much traveling, too many games, and the kids can't really, I guess, hone their skills. They can't work on their skills. Was it your experience as well, or do you think, no, it's great because I get to play so much and I get to travel?
I would say it's great because you do get to travel, but you also are playing against the best players from that state. So AAU
Mm-hmm.
ball is basically a combination of different players from that state, and you guys then travel and play against teams from other states that are the best players from that state.
Yeah.
So I felt it was good for me and every player, I would say, because of the exposure, because of the way the tournaments are set up and the schedules and the traveling and stuff. The college coaches from the universities are coming to those tournaments to
Mm.
watch the players play. So
Yeah.
I feel like it was good in that aspect. And you're playing ball year round,
Mm-hmm.
so you're still in tune with the game. You can stay sharp. And it's opportunity for everybody, So I feel AAU is good for that.
Let's jump to Germany real quick because you've played here a couple of seasons. Did you get to attend any games, I suppose, with German players who were around high school level? Did you kind of got to draw some comparisons when you were here? Did you look at them and say, oh, it's crazy how they play as opposed to us in the US?
Yeah, I actually was coaching some younger teams. I coached the U18
Oh,
team. I coached the U16 team there in Germany, and even down to a U10.
all right.
I've bounced around, boys and girls, in my time there in Germany. So yeah, I've done a lot of watching and kind of comparing the two. I would say in Germany the game is more of a system play,
Mm-hmm.
more set plays, slow the game down, make the right cuts, make the right reads, team basketball. As compared to the U.S., it's almost like a one-on-one game. We play faster pace here.
Yeah.
The guys are real athletic, and some guys are very talented at a young age. So it's like they then play up, with older players and different teams. So, they kind of mature and they advance a little bit, by playing up and also
Mm-hmm.
just the pace. The pace is constantly going. Different players is skilled in different positions. So, compared to comparing the two, I would just say the players are more controlled in Germany. It's more of
Mm-hmm.
a I look up, I make the right read, I make the right play, and kind of slow the game down compared to here.
When you was coaching there, did you in Germany, did you ever try to maybe implement some one-on-one stuff? Because this is something I believe we are definitely lacking in Germany. We don't even have the confidence to be like, okay, let's just kill my man one-on-one for 10 straight possessions.
Yeah.
We don't really do it. Like you said, we are system players. Did you try to install that maybe in your teams?
Yeah, I kind of started off by different skill work and different individual skill work, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as like ball handling, shooting, passing, making different reads, I think that's kind of where it starts. Because in order to be a good one-on-one player, you have to be able to handle the ball. You have to be able to do different things, and it's kind of a mindset thing. So I kind of try to teach the mindset first, and then I
Mm-hmm.
implement some one-on-one skills. I do some one-on-one drills, just to kind of build that motor in the kids. And I think
Yeah.
that's kind of what they need, just that motor, and to understand that every play counts. You can't take a play off, and just to keep going every time. If you miss a shot, come back, shoot the next one. Just have short-term memory and just stay on that. that same pace.
Is there a mentality aspect of you where when you attack a player who's guarding you one-on-one, do you have like a thought in your head which is like, I'm just gonna kill this guy right now, I'm just gonna go cross this guy? Or is it more instinct and you just do it naturally? It's not so much planned.
Yeah, I think it's more of an instinct. I think it kind of gets into the planning towards the end of the game, or if my team is down, or if we just need a bucket, then I'm more so in that mind frame. I'm just gonna go and get a basket, get
Yeah.
to my spot and try to make something happen. But yeah, I think some of it just comes instinctively, just from me playing the game for so long and just reading the game in different ways. So I just kind of try to pick and choose my spots and just kind of play time and score.
I asked my community on Instagram if they had any questions for a former high school and NCAA player, and what they wanted to know, especially on the high school level, did the teachers kind of maybe give you a pass if you didn't have your homework? Were they a little bit relaxed with the athletes if they didn't have their homework, if they weren't on time, or were they just as strict on you guys as with the regular students?
No, they was just as strict. I would say probably even more so,
Oh, wow.
because during the season you might miss a little bit based on if you're traveling to a game or something like that. And then with the game, a lot of kids are so focused on the game that sometimes they feel like the schoolwork can be pushed to the side. So my coach and the people that I had around me made sure I stayed on top of the grades, because here if you don't have the grades, you won't even get into the university. You can be as good as you want to be, but if you don't have the grades to be able to get into that school, then it's basically a wash. So they basically preach that to us every day. Make sure you get your schoolwork done and then come here, and then we can take care of the rest. So yeah, school was definitely pushed to us for sure.
That's so interesting, because over here we don't play for our schools. We play for teams who work independently from the schools.
Right.
So grades are actually never an issue for us. But the problem is that our teachers sometimes don't even have an understanding what a basketball team is, how much there goes into that, how much practice there goes into that. And so they are extra hard on us. So that's why they ask, because you are on the team in your school, you know?
Yes,
so there's do the teachers, for example, attend your high school games?
Yeah, the teachers that we have, they'll attend. Of course, they have they schedule, so they're not at every game. Maybe some of the away games they might not be there, but our support system as far as home games and with teachers and people throughout the community, they attended most of the games. So yeah, we would see them throughout the season. Yeah.
Let's skip to college, or maybe to your last high school year. How did you decide what college to go to? Were you scouted? Were you recruited? Maybe take us to that process a little bit from your perspective.
My senior year in high school, I was scouted. I was recruited by some Division I schools. I was recruited throughout the season, but it got more serious towards the end of the season. That's kind of when you take your visits and try to choose where exactly you want to go. For me, it was kind of tough to decide, where I wanted to go. I had about 2 or 3 Division I offers, but I actually chose to walk on at a university. I was in that Washington State, close to there, so it was close to home. So that's how I ended up choosing the school. I liked it when I went to go visit, and I liked the coach. I liked the players. They had, a good system there and a good culture. So that's how I ended up choosing. But yeah, the recruiting, seniors in high school, it picks up towards the end of the year, and that's when you kind of move around and choose where you want to go.
And specifically, how does that work? I have that thought you first get a letter where it says, hey, we are interested in you. Would you like to come to our school? And then you just go there on a weekend. They fly you out. How exactly does that work?
Yeah, I took a couple visits, and they start off by the letters. The coaches will come to the game. Probably the assistant coach will probably come first, and then he'll either bring the head coach, kind of do that. That'll be the first step after the letters and stuff. They'll want to meet you personally, come watch you play in person, and then it'll get to the visit, towards the end. But yeah, then they do a lot of communication by phone. They'll keep up with telling you about their system and their school, and just trying to draw you to their school. Different coaches have different tactics and stuff, but for the most part, it's the letters and the phone calls, and then once you're a senior, you'll take most of your visits, and then you'll decide towards, graduation.
Did you travel throughout the whole country, or was it just in your state? How many schools did you visit?
I visited 2, 3. I
Two.
had a visit in Montana. I was recruited by University of Montana, Sacramento State, in California, and then I took a visit to Washington as well before I went there. So I took 2 to 3. Montana and California is pretty close to Oregon, so I didn't travel too far. I didn't, go to the East Coast or down south or nothing, but yeah, so I traveled pretty close for my visits.
But when you travel there, you don't actually practice with the team or work out. They already have their mind up. They know they want you. They've seen your skills. You don't have to go through a tryout or something.
No, you don't have to go through a tryout. I played open gym in Sacramento when I went to my visit there. So I played some open run with the team, but it was more so just meeting the guys, getting the feel for how they play, and, that type of thing. It wasn't really a tryout I had to offer before, but then I, went there and kind of just played with the team, worked out with the team, one of the days I was there to visit. So
then you decided to walk on at the University of Washington. Can you just explain what walk on specifically means?
Walk on is like a player who doesn't have a full scholarship. So I didn't have a full scholarship. So my school wasn't paid for all the way. I was an invited walk on by the coach, so he wanted me to come to the school. I already had known him throughout the, recruiting process throughout the summer, and just from him coming to my school and stuff, recruiting other players on my team. That's kind of how we built our relationship.
But you were part of the team.
Yes,
you walk on, but you're part of the team.
Yeah, you're on the team, but you walk on is like you're not a full scholarship player. Yes, you're on the team. And you do everything with the team, travel with the team, everything. You still have, a chance to play, earn playing time. Basically, you just don't have your school fully played for, but you kind of got to earn your stripes, work hard to get into the rotation and, fight your way to the top. So, yeah. You
went to a very good team because I believe they went to become Pac-10 champions in that season.
Yeah, we won the Pac-10 championship in the tournament there, yeah.
So you played that season with Isaiah Thomas. Did you play one-on-one with him in practice, or did you get to play against him a lot in practice? Did you see like the potential, wow, this guy is actually next level?
Yeah, I first heard about Isaiah Thomas through my older brothers. He actually, the first time I seen him play, my brothers was in high school. I was in middle school. They let me travel with the team and stuff like that. So I seen him play against my brothers. So I knew how good he was, before I actually was on the team with him. But once I got there, we played the same position. So a lot of the scrimmages and, practice times I'm playing against them and most of the drills. And yeah, I knew he would, turn out to be a great player just from the work ethic. He's probably one of the hardest working teammates I've ever had. He's getting work in before practice, after practice, and just his mentality, his approach to the game. He got a killer mind set. He's just, he's not going to let nobody, steer him in another direction. He's going to bring it all out on the court every time. So, yeah, I had a lot of fun playing with him for sure.
Was that the same experience you had with your high school teammates who eventually became pros in the NBA? Or was it just too early to see that mentality in them?
No, I seen the mentality in them as well. And they were just, better than, the competition. You can tell, you can kind of see those players who kind of stand out, and they just above the competition, and it's kind of easy for them, just to do what they do on the court. So I seen that, with, my teammates in high school as well as in college. And I had a couple other players, Justin Holiday and CJ Wilcox. He played in the league as well. Yep. So I played with, a few different players there at Washington who ended up, making it to the NBA. But, out of all of them, I just seen the work. You can't escape the work. The work is always going to be there. And, you can't cut corners. And all those guys, they put the work in and they earn their stripes for sure.
Yeah, that's interesting because when I did research on you, I read all the German papers and German news articles about you. And every time it said, he's going back to the US for the summer and he plans to work out out. He plans to do this and that and get stronger and get faster. When I got to play against you, I had that feeling like you just described with the NBA. Because I was like, this guy is so much above everyone in this league. Like, you can't even compare.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Because and I figured, yeah, this guy must have an incredible work ethic to be this quick, this big, because you actually bulked up a little bit, I believe, but you were still super quick. You had a great vision. Maybe we can take this time right now to talk about some drills, or what do you do is specifically in the summer to get better as a guard, as a ball handler, all that stuff.
In the States in the summer, I train with a close friend of my family, Salim Stoudemire.
I read that.
He played at Arizona University and played some time in the league. But usually we just working on just game-like situations. Most of the time I'm doing ball handling. We doing a lot of pull-ups, working on feet work, how you going into the jump shot, fading, whether it's to leaning forward, just different spots on the court, working on, distance and just a lot of repetition, a lot of repetition. And I think that's kind of how I've train my brain and, how it comes to me during the game, because it's just, repetition. I feel like that's, the key for every drill or for every, thing you're doing as far as, out there on the court is repetition. So if you've done it enough times, once it gets to the game, it's kind of, just comes naturally. So
I guess you've seen the Last Dance documentary with Jordan.
Yeah. For sure.
And he also said like he wanted to practice extra hard so the game will come to him easy.
Yeah.
And that's just what you said right now. After your first year, the walk-on year in Washington, you actually bounced around a little bit in college. How does that work? I think you went to 3 schools in 4 years. Is that a tough adjustment, not just from a basketball standpoint, but also from an educational standpoint? Because you always have to transfer, you always have to, I guess, register, show them your grades. That's a tough process, isn't it?
Yeah, it was tough for me because I did bounce around a lot. I transferred. I actually went to 4 schools, man. So
4 schools. Okay.
Yeah. So for me, I just was kind of trying to find my niche. I always knew I wanted to play after college. So, I would want to put myself in a situation to kind of where I can enhance, better my game and just kind of given the opportunity to be able to show what I can do so that I can have that opportunity, to play after college. So really for me, I moved around just from that standpoint, right there, just trying to find, the right situation for me to where I can, get better and, have time on the court to where I can showcase what I can do and then, move on from there. So it's tough when you're talking about grades and stuff though, because, different schools have different, layouts, as far as your major. My major was communications. I got a bachelor's degree in communications. So for me, it was a little easier, to transfer my credits. I had a couple, extra credits from, some classes I took in high school. So, most of my credits and stuff were transferable. So I was able to, get into those schools and, kind of start where I left off, based off my last academic year. So, transferring schools was, just me trying to find my way. And, but I was definitely able to still, keep on top of my schoolwork and earn my degree. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I was going to ask you if you even had a chance to earn your degree, because 4 schools in 4 years, that's crazy.
Crazy. Yeah, I was moving around, man. But, I learned a lot. I was able to adapt. I think it matured me because I was in different places, around different people in different states and stuff. So I was able to learn how to adapt to different situations, different teachers, different, everything. So, it was tough, but I was able to do it and, come out on top as well as, my degree and stuff like that. So
you scored 50 points, I believe, in your last collegiate game. Is that right? Yeah. And you said you always wanted to play pro or play just period after college. Is that something that you talk about with your teammates when it kind of gets clear, okay, I probably won't make the NBA, but I still want to go pro. Maybe I go overseas, maybe I go to China, Asia, wherever. Do you talk about this stuff with your teammates, or is that something you talk about with your coaches? How do you even plan that?
You kind of got to keep a even kill, level, because for me, I wanted it so bad that I would try to, to overplay sometimes, but, once I kind of got in the mode, I talked to it, of course, with my teammates, throughout the year, other players, of course, want to play after college. So I talked a lot, with my teammates, and then the coaches, when they kind of see something in certain players, then they'll kind of bring it to you, say, okay, they might have some different opportunities or some different agents, different people that you can talk to. So that process is kind of open, that's kind of an open question because it's kind of depends on, different things, how that year went for you, your last season. And then after, I played in a lot of different combines, different, tryouts and, different online things, just to try to get myself out there and get recognized so I can move on to the next level. So, but that last game, I felt like that helped me a lot, so it just kind of, propelled, the coaches to even more, kind of look at me and see what, what was really up with me. So,
did you go to Germany right after college, or was there a year in between? I kind of couldn't figure that out.
Yeah, there was a year in between. I set my
Okay.
first season after college. I was, doing different combines and stuff like that, trying to get noticed, doing different, online things with different agents and, just trying to get out there, just trying to find the best, situation for me, best scenario. So, yeah, there was a year in between there.
Okay, so that took a whole year. There's different combines, which is also kind of like a tryout, I
Yeah.
suppose. You
Yep.
play against other players on your level, and people scout you,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. 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 The
Yeah.
combines you would travel. I went to Las Vegas for most of my combines.
hmm
Um, and there's different players that just graduated. There's players that have been overseas and are looking for new jobs. There's players from the G League. It's different players all mixed up in there, different ages. But yes, tryouts. There's different coaches there. They're filming these combines so they can send them to their different contacts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that process. That's part of it. You got to, like I said, put the work in, before you can, get to where you want to go. So, that was, me just, trying to build my resume, compete against different players and, try to get my name out there. So, yeah.
Before we go to Germany, I just want to talk about college one more time because I actually had this on my channel the other day. For a German player who might be not Division 1 type of talent, there's also Division 2 and Division 3. And it's not the worst to go to a Division 2 school and have a lot of playing time. In retrospect, do you maybe wish you would have went to a Division 2 school where you would have gotten, I don't know, 30 minutes and you could have scored just whatever, however you wanted? Or did you enjoy the Division 1 experience and that was just that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I went to 2 Division 1 schools, but I actually graduated. My last school I went to was a Division 2.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, so I went to school in Montana and I graduated from out there. But I would say to players, like, it don't matter where you play. If you're good, they'll find you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
no matter if it's Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, NAIA, if you're good enough, they'll find you. I know players who are a little older than me that I watched, go to a junior college, which is a 2-year school, end up going to a big time Division 1 university and then play in the league, play some time in the
Yeah.
league, play overseas, and are still pros to this day. So, everybody's route is different. I would say, like, if you're good enough, that they'll come and look for you and find you, and you'll be on your way for sure. So,
Is it looked down upon a little bit though? If you're a high school star and you're saying, I want to go to a Division 2 school because I know I have my guaranteed minutes, do people kind of look at you funny and say, why don't you go to a Division 1? Why don't you try it against the big boys?
I think it's, different people have, different outlooks. But, I would tell the player if because each player knows their skill set and what they ultimately want to do and how
Yeah.
far they want to go. So if they feel like they can go to a Division 2, it might be a relationship they have with the coach, somebody that was recruiting them from when they were younger and kind of are still, recruiting them. I've seen players do that. They go off loyalty. It might be the first school that, recruited them or has been persistent and, checking on them, keeping up with, not only what they're doing on the court, but just them as a person,
Yeah.
So Division 1 is, that's the highest level as far as collegiate,
Definitely.
basketball. So of course, I would tell, players to try to reach for the top,
Hmm.
and once you get there, situations change, things change, in different programs throughout the year. So don't feel bad if you go to a Division 1 and have to transfer, or, go different route.
Yeah.
Like I said, every player has their own route, and you can make it no matter, which route you go. You just got to put the work in, and they'll find you.
So now let's come to the German side of things, I guess. So you've done all these combines for a year. Do the German teams now, they call you, or do you get an agent? How does the connection work to Germany?
Yeah, I had some agents throughout that year. I was sitting out throughout those summers. So they were kind of, trying to put different fillers out for me. But I got to Germany based off owner reaching out to me through the internet. They seen my
Hmm.
resume, seen my videos and my stats and stuff, and offered me to come out to Germany. And when I got there to that team, I was on that team, but I was allowed, to try out for different teams in the first stage. And that's kind of how I kind of got up and rolling. But yeah, he reached out to me, seen my film online, and then that's how I got out there.
Then you played for, I think it was Soest, right?
Yeah, I started off. That owner that contacted me was for the Westfalen Mustangs,
Yeah.
in Wiedenbrück, Germany. I played there for about 3 weeks, and he wanted, to keep me on that team, but he felt like I could, be in a better situation because he was kind of loaded with imports and stuff on that team. So
Mm.
I ended up, taking a visit to Zos, talking with them, playing a little bit, and then I ended up signing for the remainder of the season there. So yeah, my first season there was 2016-17.
Okay, so you basically stayed there like 3 seasons, right?
Yeah, I played my first season there, and then I actually moved to Dorsten. I
Ah,
played
Dorsten, yeah.
Rigo 1 in Dorsten um, for about 6-7 games, I believe. Then I moved back to Zos, and then I
Hmm.
played in Zost again for a follow season. So 3 seasons.
Yeah, and you guys, you won the championship in your last year. You were top scorer of the league, I believe. And then you had a problem because you went back to the US, I guess, to train again and to improve. And when you came back, they told you, we don't have a spot for you anymore.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Just as an explanation, that's because they went up a league, they advanced to another league, and then you can only have one non-European player, I believe.
right, right,
Yeah,
right.
and they already had that spot given away, and so you were kind of without a team. How did you handle that situation?
Man, it was a tough situation for me. I enjoyed my time, there in Zos.
Mm,
That championship season was a good season. We went undefeated that
mm.
year, and that was the first team I played for there in Germany. So I had a lot of friends and good people attachments there. So it was tough for me after having that type of success, and then not having a team in the summer. So. I kind of just used it as motivation. There's different things, and it's business, so
Yeah.
it's a lot of different things involved in there. But I still, got love for Zos. I kind of just, used it as motivation. Worked even harder, and just, found another squad and just tried to, stay on track and just keep going, and just used it as motivation for me. So
So you went to Schwerte,
yeah,
which is the team where the two of us played against one another. And
yeah,
I remember before the season, everyone was talking about, okay, Schwerte got these new guys coming in. They want to take over the league. They want to win the league. They want to go to the next league. And you guys were kind of, I don't want to exaggerate, but you were kind of mystical. Like everyone was talking about you. Everyone told me, hey, they got these guards, or they got that one guard in Schwerte and he's just crazy. So I was looking forward to that matchup so hard. Just from your experience, though, before we come to our game, how did you enjoy that league? Because that was actually 2 leagues below
yeah,
Regionalliga or
yeah.
Regio, as you said
Yeah.
it. How was that for you? Because I suppose that wasn't the league you wanted to be in with your type of skill set.
For my experience, it was good as far as just the whole package. I was then in a bigger city, so I got to experience more of Germany, and that's kind of played a lot of my decision making. Just the full package. I have been there for some time, so I was kind of looking, just for a better day to day, so I can move around, kind of get to know some more people and things like that. So, as far as that, I felt like it was a good situation, contractually. But as far as the competition, I kind of feel like, it's kind of a mind thing, like when you go out there, it's like I'm gonna play the game the same way no matter who I'm playing. So no matter the league, no matter I've played in different leagues in Germany, on my time there, so I've seen different players, I've watched a lot of different games, so it was the full package for me in Schwerter, and it was it was a good situation. And yeah, so I just kind of looked at it like that, just try to stay even keel. I'm always going to work on my game off the court, so I'm going to continue to sharpen my skills, regardless of the league I'm in. So that's how I kind of just try to keep it. And then, with the cup games and stuff, you playing teams from different leagues. And, preseason, we played against, a lot of different teams, from leagues. So I was able to still, play, against different competitions and stuff like that. So it was cool,
Yeah, I saw that. I think in preseason you played against one Regionalliga team and you dropped 44 on them. I believe that's what I read.
This past season we played Grevenbroek and we played against Iserlohn. Yeah.
So it's crazy to see that not only in Landesliga, which is where we played, but actually 1, 2, 3 leagues up, you're still dropping 40 on the competition. But I like what you said. It's really a mindset that you have to have, because I was just wondering, this guy came from the NCAA. He's clearly better than everyone in this league. It's not even a comparison. How does he get through the season? How does he stay sharp? But when I played against you and when I had to guard you, I kind of noticed that. I just saw a focused guard who was not trying to be above everybody. You were just there to play your game, to score, and to win this game. And that's what I really respected when I got to guard you up close.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Now, since we're on the game already, this is also the game where you got injured. And that's what I wanted to touch on. Did you know, or did you feel anything during warm-ups? Did you feel maybe kind of tired? Because it was so sudden. It was just one move. I believe one move you've done a million times before. I was standing right next to you and I'll see you going down and I'm just like, I can't believe this right now. So maybe take me through it from your perspective.
Man, in warm-ups, I've talked a lot about this, with my team, my coach and stuff. In warm-ups, I did the same, routine that I always do. I was feeling good. The first, quarter and stuff, I was kind of getting going. I had a good sweat going. And like you said, it was there in the middle of the second quarter. I just made a move that I always do, just a jab step. And then I just went down. And it was like, they was like, did you hear anything? I really didn't hear it.
Me neither. I didn't hear anything.
You know what I'm saying? But I more so felt it. I was like, maybe just because, the squeaks, everything, you can't really hear it like that. But
yeah,
I did feel it. And I was just, it was shocking just because, like you said, it was so sudden. I was just kind of like, did this just happen? But then I was still kind of in denial because I walked off after the game. I was kind of laying there, but I walked off, with no help after the game. So I thought, maybe it might, be something, minor or something like that. But yeah, it definitely caught me off guard. So, but it's all good. I, just gonna take my time, bounce back, and I'll be back.
Just because I haven't mentioned it yet, what exactly was your injury that you got?
It was Achilles. I ruptured my Achilles.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the people always say it's you hear it when someone ruptures their Achilles, you hear it. But I was standing right there, and I didn't hear it neither.
Right.
So I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was like, nah, I didn't hear it. And I don't even think I would have wanted to hear it. What I'm saying? Those, with injuries with me, I don't even like to watch them,
of course.
on TV or none of that, injuries with me, it's a part of the game, but, you always want to escape that when you're playing. You don't want to really think about that because then you'll play hesitant or real, lax. But, yeah. Yeah, it was definitely pretty random to me for sure.
Yeah, I was fucked up. I think 2 minutes later, I got 2 technicals.
For real?
Yeah, wow. I was thrown out. And I was just sitting in the locker room in your gym actually, and I was just fuming because first of all I didn't get a chance to play against you the whole game, and then I was just like I kind of felt for a second we had a chance because you was out. I think another player was out or suspended for a game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not quite sure, and I thought we might have a chance. Do you have a timetable when you'll be able to play 100%, or are you 100% right now? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I've been doing my rehab and working out. Every day. Trying to
Mhm.
eat right and keep my body right. And it's been going good so far. I'll be back pretty soon. I'm gonna probably take a month or two and just really get it stronger, both
Yeah,
legs, and but I'll be back on the court, starting next season. I know with
great.
all this, the season is, we don't know exactly when it will start, but when it does start, I'm gonna be back at it.
You will be in Germany, or you don't know yet?
I'll be in Germany, but I don't know exactly where yet. But
Okay.
only time will tell. With everything that's going on. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna be back at it for sure, bro.
Talking about Germany, I guess the last couple of questions here. Culture shocks. Did you have any? How's the German culture? What was surprising for you when you got here? What had you heard before? Were there some false beliefs, something like that?
Yeah, well, I first heard about Germany through my older brother. He actually played American football there in
Okay.
2011. So he told me, some of the, things like, changing the ports for the wall, small stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, he told me some good things about it, so I kind of would hear about it before, I actually showed up there. And then when I got there, I wouldn't say it was more so a shock, but it was kind of crazy to me how laid back the country is. It seems
Okay.
like everybody has they way of life. They doing what they doing, and then that's it. Here in
Yeah.
America, it's more fast paced, on the go. Everybody kind of moving. You seeing different things every day. Germany, I like how relaxed it is. It's chill. I
Yeah.
like the scenery. So yeah, so my first few days there, the food was a little different. I had to get adapted to the food and stuff like that. But
I read that you like Döner. Is that
yeah,
true?
donor. Yeah, that was my first meal in Germany, man. My teammates
Oh.
took me to a donor spot my first day there. So it was like, that was my first thing, and that's what that was their go to. So
Yeah.
yeah, I ate a lot of donor, and a donor is almost on every corner in Germany. So you see them
Exactly.
everywhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I think it's funny what you said about the mentality because when I go to the US, I always kind of have a problem with everyone. Everyone is acting bigger than they are. That's always my understanding. They're always trying to impress you with whatever, and when you look behind the facade, there's nothing there. And in Germany, it's the opposite. We always play down. We don't talk about any accomplishments. We don't talk about prizes. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's exactly what I figure when I go to the US.
Yes, it's different lifestyles for sure, but I like that I was able to go there, and people were able to understand me. It's a lot of
Mhm.
people that speak English there, so that helped me out a lot with just getting acclimated to the culture and just the day to day, getting the things I need from the grocery store and stuff like that. So I did, I noticed that right away. You can approach somebody, you'll say English, they might be able to speak fluent English, or they'll tell you a little bit, but that little bit means that they can at least hold a conversation. So that was a cool part about me coming there. Yeah,
Were there ever other countries on your radar where you wanted to go?
I was pretty open, going into it. Germany was kind of the first opportunity I really had. But other countries are different. They got different type of leagues, different style of play. And, I'm always trying to advance and get better. So of course
Mhm.
I've thought about different countries, but I like Germany. My times there has been good. I've liked the situations I've been in, and I just want to continue to get better and advance and expand. I'm doing more
Yeah.
stuff with kids, camps and different things at schools there. So, you know, and like you said, in Germany, you know, the basketball, the style of play is different. So I just kind of want to bring my knowledge and, you know, my understanding for the game and give it away to the kids and to whoever wants it. You know what I'm saying? I'm that type
Yeah.
of person because somebody did it for me when I was younger. Different coaches, mentors, you know, older players, you know, different people. They gave me what they, you know, what they had and now I feel like that's my job, you know, to do the same. So Germany has been cool, bro.
That's really cool to hear because when I played against you, you were just this player, but then we actually talked a little bit on Instagram and I noticed, wow, this guy is really open and he's really responding on time and he's not carrying himself like a star. And yeah, then I was really happy when you said, hey, let's do the podcast. I'm down. And now we've done 20 minutes longer than we actually initially said,
Right,
but you
right.
was cool. You didn't stress me, so I appreciate that. And I just want to thank you for your time and giving this insight, which you don't hear every day, especially if you're just a kid from Germany playing basketball. So thank you for that.
Yeah, bro, and I thank you for having me. You know, I feel like sometimes I get misunderstood because you know I'm one way on the court, but I think a lot of people kind of don't know me off the court. You know, I'm
Yeah.
very minded. You know, I you know communicate with different people all the time. You know, but people think I'm just different just based off how I play. But like you said, when I'm on the court, I'm just more so just focused. I'm trying to get a job done, and that's
Yeah.
kind of how I clear my head and escape from the world. And you gotta have that mindset when you playing. You know, it's kill or be killed. You know, so that's how
Mm.
I've always played and how I always learned about how to approach the game. So, I'm gonna stay that way. But I definitely thank you for having me too, bro. I enjoy this and yeah, I appreciate you.